In yesterday's video, I was discussing doing a lat pull down following a lat flap breast reconstruction surgery. And if you've had one, you know that they basically detach the lat, bring it on through, pull it out where the breast mound's going to be, where the mastectomy site is, and with an implant underneath that above the pectoral muscle, they create a new breast or breast pocket. And in doing so, oftentimes you are going to still feel that latissimus muscle fire when you are contracting it. So when you're doing a lat pull down, the lat, which you can see contracted here, is now here. And in some cases, you may be one of the fortunate ones where that does not happen, but with the majority of people that I've ever worked with, on some level, they will actually feel their breasts contract and relax. And what that can do is it can cause hypertrophy, which is muscle growth, not exponentially, but when you're dealing with breast reconstruction and an aesthetic result that you're looking for, we certainly don't want to interfere with what your surgeon and you have worked so hard on accomplishing. So as opposed to doing a lat pull down, and no real harm is going to come from doing it, but I think there are better choices that you can make for exercises, and really working on scapular, so here's your scapula here, scapular stabilization. Because the other thing that can happen is you start to compensate. And with this lat muscle now being here, your scapular stabilizers, one in particular, the rhomboid here, and then up into the upper trap tends to work double time, triple time. And you may experience neck pain, shoulder pain, or an imbalance between sides. So let's focus today on a couple of exercises for scapular stabilization. If you are at risk for lymphedema, meaning you have had lymph nodes removed or irradiated on whatever side you're referring to, then I don't recommend using resistance bands. However, this is so light. The reason for that is we don't want to restrict the flow of lymphatic fluid, but something like this, it's a light or very light band, I really don't feel that there is any harm that can come from that, but I do want to give you that warning that anytime, whether you're using a blood pressure cuff, whether you're using a foam roller or putting a band around that limb, it does increase your risk. But either way, I want you to start off with isometrics, and we can do this in a number of different ways. One would be to just externally rotate right at your side, okay? And from the back, you're literally squeezing your shoulder blades together. You can count 1 Mississippi and relax, 2 Mississippi and relax, and you should feel this contraction right here. And you'll know that this is good for you if you are not feeling it in your chest, because then we're working the muscles that we're actually targeting. You can also use this band, and all we're going to do is push out so that your arms, they're really not moving far at all here. We're just creating a little bit of tension. I'm squeezing the shoulder blades together, just like what I just showed you, and I might count to 3 and then relax. Now this is just a very little amount of tension, so it doesn't take much effort. And you can do 8 to 10, 10 to 12, really whatever your fatigue level is will dictate how many you do. Make sure you're breathing. Hard to do while you're talking, but that actually ensures that you are aerobic. Okay, so that is going to be exercise number 1, which is external rotation. Exercise number 2 is going to be a reverse fly. Now, if you have a gym membership, you might have a reverse fly machine, and you're welcome to use that, although you want to start with the lightest resistance possible. Once again, focusing on those muscles on either side of your spine. Okay, so first I'm going to try this without the band, and I'm just going to bring my arms out, squeeze my shoulder blades together, and slowly come back together. Now, the other issue here is that your implant can move out as well because it's underneath the muscle. So as we're opening up the chest, the implant, you're going to feel it go in and out. Really important that you have had full clearance and healing time from your surgeon before you do anything that is going to open up your chest. And that is either a chest fly or a reverse fly. Really, really important. And if you have expanders in place before you've even undergone the surgery, it is not advisable for you to do chest or back work because they are not held in position yet. There's just, we don't have that healing time because they are not a permanent fixture, if you will. So if you can do that full range of motion, then what I want you to do is grab a very light band like this in between your thumb and forefinger. Now, if you're not at risk for lymphedema, then you can wrap it around your hands. But if you are, we're simply going, I'll show you from all angles, we're going to bring it out to the side. Notice I'm keeping a slight bend in my elbows, exhaling as I go out. And I want you to keep your shoulder blades squeezing together when you go back and your shoulders down. So I'm going to show you this from the back. Okay, we're starting with your arms right in front. Squeeze, slowly go back in. Exhaling as you're coming back here. Inhaling. Okay, and you should get to a slight fatigue, but this should not ever be painful. Our next exercise is called shoulder scaption. You want to lean against a wall, belly button drawn in, arms slightly turned out, so palms at about 45 degrees, and think about your shoulder blades being velcroed back, and raise your arms up just about shoulder height. You can go a little bit higher and back down. Each time I want you to make sure you're retracting those shoulder blades and bringing them up without arching your back. Okay, and aim for 8 to 10, 10 to 12. If you can do this with no pain or discomfort, then go ahead and add 1 pound in each hand. You do a set of those, no problems, no pain, no swelling, then do 2 and 3 and so on and so forth. But make sure that you progress slowly, whether that be with repetitions, bands, or weights, so that we are reducing the risk for lymphedema.